The Bloody Battle of Tours, also called Battle of Poitiers, October 732. Victory won by Charles Martel, the de facto ruler of the Frankish kingdoms, over Muslim invaders from Spain. The battlefield cannot be exactly located, but it was fought somewhere between Tours and Poitiers, in what is now west-central France. The Muslim conquest of Spain, the death of the Visigothic king Witiza in 710 left Spain in disarray. The Gothic nobles refused to recognize his young sons and elected Roderick, Dux, Duke of Baetica, to succeed him. Gothic Gaul followed Witiza's son Aquila, and the Basques rebelled, as Roderick marched north to quell the Basques. His rivals appealed to Musa ibn Nasir, the Umayyad governor of the Maghreb. Musa dispatched an army under Tariq ibn Ziyad in late spring 711. The force landed at Gibraltar, crossed to mainland Spain, and in July 711 defeated Roderick's army, instead of returning to North Africa. Tariq marched on the Visigothic capital of Toledo and took the city with minimal resistance. Musa arrived with a larger army in 712, and the two Muslim generals soon occupied most of the Iberian Peninsula. Although both Tariq and Musa were recalled to the seat of the Umayyad Caliphate in Damascus, their successors consolidated Muslim control of Spain and attempted to expand their holdings to the north. In 719 Muslim armies crossed the Pyrenees, taking Narbonne and establishing Berber settlements in Gothic Gaul. By 725 Muslim raiding parties were venturing as far as Burgundy, and in 731 they may have sacked Arles on the Rhône River. The clash near Poitiers-Aquitaine, modern southwestern France, represented the frontier between the expanding Umayyad presence in Spain and the Frankish territories to the north. Eudes Odo, the Duke of Aquitaine, was already allied with the Merovingian Franks when he pledged both his daughter and his support to a breakaway Berber chieftain named Manusa in Clevia. An army under Charles, mayor of the palace of the eastern Frankish kingdom of Austrasia, responded to Eudes's apparent assertion of independence by twice invading Aquitaine in 731. Charles humiliated Eudes but failed to bring the border region fully under control. That same year, Abd al-Rahman al-Ghafiqi, the Muslim governor of Cordoba, launched a punitive expedition against Manusa. During that campaign, Manusa either was slain or committed suicide. Both Abd al-Rahman and Charles seemed to perceive that Eudes represented a persistent strategic threat, and in 732 Abd al-Rahman invaded Aquitaine. His army sacked Bordeaux and roundly defeated Eudes. Of the Battle of Bordeaux, the Mozarabic Chronicle of 754 reported that God only knows the number of those who died or fled. Eudes himself escaped north to Frankish territory and appealed to Charles for help. Charles disposed his cavalry near the Loire River to defend the city of Tours and the wealthy abbey of St. Martin, continuing north along the Roman road from Bordeaux to Orleans. Abd al-Rahman destroyed the church of St. Hilary outside Poitiers and moved on toward Tours. Tradition asserts that it was near Poitiers that the two armies met, but it is impossible to identify the battlefield. Possibilities include the little town of Senon, just northeast of Naintré, a collection of small hamlets near Loudun, and Moussay-la-Bataille, a point east of the Claine River roughly equidistant between Poitiers and Tours. It is also likely that the main battle may have been preceded by a series of running engagements or local skirmishes between the two armies' scouts and outriders, although the battle is described at length in both Muslim and Christian sources. Reliable details about it are scarce. The Chronicle of 754 provides the most plausible contemporary account. Given what is known about the makeup of Frankish armies in the late Merovingian era, it is likely that the Muslim attack was broken by Charles's massed heavy infantry. According to the chronicle, the northern people remained immobile like a wall, holding together like a glacier in the cold regions, and in the blink of an eye annihilated the Arabs with the sword. Other sources indicate that the battle turned with a cavalry attack, possibly led by youths, on the Muslim camp. Many of the camp followers included the families of fighting men, and when news of the slaughter in the Umayyad rear reached the Muslim lines, entire units melted away from the main battle to defend the camp. About this time Abd al-Rahman was killed in the fighting, but another commander assumed control and withdrew the Umayyad forces into the fortified camp. Virtually all sources agree that the remnants of the Muslim army retired southward in good order during the night. Outcome and significance: the Frankish victory has sometimes been regarded as decisive for world history. But in fact the revolt of the Berbers in North Africa 739, and internal dissensions in the Muslim dominions culminating in the establishment of the Abbasid Caliphate in 750 were the real causes that brought the Muslim advance to an end. Indeed, Abd al-Rahman's invasion more closely resembled a large-scale razzia raid than a true attempt to conquer and hold territory in Aquitaine. His army looted Bordeaux but made no attempt to occupy it and bypassed Poitiers entirely. Had he been able to kill or capture youths at Bordeaux, Abd al-Rahman might have regarded his mission as a success and taken his army and its spoils back across the Pyrenees. For his part, Charles derived profit as well as glory from his victory. He was at last able to assert his authority in Aquitaine, where, having forced youths to swear allegiance to him, he allowed youths to continue to rule as duke. Even this victory was short-lived. However, when youths died in 735, he was succeeded by his son Hunald, and the new duke immediately began asserting his independence. Charles was compelled to march on Bordeaux in a show of force that only temporarily cowed the region. Aquitaine would not be fully subdued until Charles's grandson Charlemagne brought it under Frankish control in 781. When considering the historical importance of the Battle of Tours, it is important to note that it did not actually mark the end of significant Muslim incursions into Gaul. If anything, it accelerated the pace of Muslim and Frankish clashes along the frontier. In 734 or 735, Uqba ibn al-Hajjaj, the governor of Al-Andalus Muslim Spain, and Yusuf, the governor of Narbonne in Septimania, launched an attack into Aquitaine and the Rhône Valley, and its scale dwarfed Abd al-Rahman's campaign. Yusuf's forces captured Carcassonne and Nîmes, while Uqba advanced through Burgundy and Dauphiné, taking Valence and Lyon and devastating the area around Vienne. The direct military threat was amplified when Yusuf concluded an alliance with Maurontus, Dux, Duke of Provence, and Yusuf's troops were welcomed into Avignon. Charles was campaigning in Frisia at the time, and he was not able to bring his forces to bear on this incursion until 737. With his half-brother Childebrand acting as his chief lieutenant, Charles drove the invaders back, but the Frankish army was unable to expel Yusuf from Narbonne.